The Trionian Saga, Book 1, Beyond the Border Mountains. Why you'll love the Trionian Saga, epic world building. Immerse yourself in a richly detailed fantasy world, teeming with magic, lore, and breathtaking landscapes. Complex characters. Follow the deeply personal journeys of three brothers, each grappling with their own demons and growing into their destined roles. Something is wrong. The air feels different. The silence is too heavy. And somewhere, far beyond what anyone can see, something has already begun. Three brothers are about to be pulled into a journey they never asked for. A journey that will test loyalty and rewrite everything they thought they knew. Chapter 3. Away we go. The next night on, as the moon began to sink in the troubled sky, casting its silvery glow over the city of Mediazes, Macrillion lay in his narrow bed, his brow furrowed in distress. Macrillion's dreams were dark and filled with ominous portents. He saw shadows moving across a blood-red sky, heard the growls of forgotten gods stirring from their ancient slumber, and felt the earth tremble beneath their wrath. The visions were so vivid that he awoke in a cold sweat, the images lingering even in the dim light of his small room. He sat up, trying to shake off the unease that clung to him like a shroud. The Lady of the Dune, a wise and mysterious figure he had encountered the night before, had told him to seek answers at the temple in Serafina. There, she had said, he might find the knowledge to avert the impending doom. In the morning, as the sun cast its first golden rays over the city, Macrillion made his way to the common room of the boarding house. The room was sparsely furnished, with worn wooden tables and chairs that had seen better days. A few other boarders sat scattered around, eating their morning porridge or sipping on weak tea. Macrillion's attention was drawn to one corner of the room, where a man in his late 20s lounged carelessly, his dark hair tousled and his thin build giving him an almost ephemeral appearance. This was Cass Ballou, a trainee priest who, despite his father's insistence, showed little interest in the priesthood. Cass was a man-child, a layabout with no ambition or standards, and a ceaseless talker who often rode on the coattails of others. "Morning, Macrillion," Cass called out, waving a hand lazily as he took a bite of bread. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Macrillion sighed, rubbing his temples as he approached. "It's these dreams, Cass. They are getting worse. I can't shake them. And in addition, I saw the Lady of the Dune. She told me to go to Serafina, to the temple there, to find answers." Cass's eyes lit up with interest. "Lady of the Dune? Really? Serafina, you say? Sounds like an adventure. I could use a change of scenery." Macrillion frowned, knowing all too well that Cass's idea of an adventure usually meant trouble for someone else. "Cass, it's not that simple. The journey is fraught with danger. Bandits, fierce creatures, angry gods. It's no place for someone who isn't prepared." Cass waved a dismissive hand. "Oh, come on, Macrillion. You worry too much. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? We get robbed? We run into a dragon? I'm sure we can handle it." Macrillion shook his head. "This isn't a game, Cass. These dreams, they're warnings. The gods are angry, and we need to be careful." Cass leaned forward, a mischievous glint in his eye. "But think about it, Macrillion. 2 priests on a holy quest to save the world? Sounds like the stuff of legends. Plus, you could use someone to watch your back." Macrillion sighed, realizing that Cass was not going to be easily dissuaded. "Fine, but you need to understand that this journey is serious. No fooling around, no shirking responsibilities." Cass grinned, clapping Macrillion on the back. "You've got it, my friend. We'll make it through this, and we'll have some stories to tell when we get back." The next few hours were a whirlwind of preparations. Macrillion gathered supplies for the half-day journey to Serafina. Cass, true to his nature, spent most of his time chatting up the locals and trying to gather as many favors as possible to make the journey more comfortable. Cass Ballou was by pedigree an Eluskin, but his family had chosen to live the civilized life in the northern country of Hathane. Cass, a trainee priest, living in the same boarding house as Macrillion, was only there because his domineering father had ordered him to join the priesthood and make something of his life. This is something they both had in common. Macrillion's father had expected all of his sons to join the military and continue the legendary reputation of the Arkan Island clan. But he was not that way inclined. He leaned toward a more peaceful resolution of conflict, and so he chose an easy way out by signing up for the monastery. He was no man of faith, however, it was just expediency. As they set out from Mediaziz, the sun was approaching mid-morning, casting a warm glow over the rolling hills and pocketed farmlets. The road ahead was long and winding, but Macrillion felt a sense of purpose driving him forward. Despite his misgivings about Cass Balu, he hoped that the journey might change his friend for the better. The first few hours of travel were relatively uneventful, with Cass filling the silence with his constant chatter. "So, Macrillion, what's the deal with these dreams? You think the gods are really that miffed? And further along, who are these gods anyway? And still further along, why would they give you visions? Do you think you are important? And why?" Macrillion nodded, staring into the distant thicket embracing the road ahead. "Yes, Cass, the gods have been forgotten. Their altars neglected. They seek to remind us of their power, and if we don't find a way to appease them, I fear for the future of our world. And I do not know why I am chosen for this journey." Cass chuckled, picking up a small branch from the ground and using it like a sword to cut and thrust. "Well, sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. But hey, at least it's better than sitting around in that stuffy boarding house, right?" Macrillion couldn't help but smile at Cass's irreverence. "You always manage to find the silver lining, don't you?" Cass grinned. "Life's too short to be serious all the time, my friend. Besides, who knows what adventures we will have or who we will meet along the way." As they approached the thicket of woods, the road became narrow and rolling, with uncouth trees on either side. "Next time we go on a mystical journey, can we choose a better mode of transport, say like horses? All this walking is making me hungry. I'll take it under advisement, Cass." "Great. Now how about a snack break?" They heard a rustling in the bushes. Macrillion instinctively reached for his dagger, while Cass froze in place. "Did you hear that?" Macrillion whispered. Cass nodded, his eyes wide with fear. "Yeah, and I don't like it one bit." Suddenly, a group of bandits emerged from the underbrush, their weapons drawn. "Hand over your valuables and no one gets hurt," their leader growled. Macrillion stepped forward, trying to keep his voice steady. "We have nothing of value. We're just humble priests on a pilgrimage." The bandit leader sneered. "Priests, huh? Well, let's see what kind of blessings you've got hidden in those packs of yours." Before Macrillion could react, Cass threw himself to the ground, pleading for mercy. "Please, don't hurt us. We are just travelers. Take whatever you want. Just let us go." The bandits laughed, clearly amused by Cass's display of cowardice. Cass beckoned for Macrillion to follow suit, and so he too knelt down. Macrillion spoke. "We mean you no harm. Let us pass, and we'll be on our way." The bandit leader stepped closer, his blade glinting in the sunlight. "You've got sense, priest. I'll give you that. But sense won't save you out here." Just as the situation seemed dire, a sudden flash of light appeared on the road ahead, and the bandits took notice. Astride a magnificent black stallion sat a tall, imposing figure clad in shimmering armor. "Leave these men be," the figure commanded, his voice echoing with authority. The bandits, recognizing the insignia on the stranger's armor, quickly retreated, disappearing into the bush. Macrillion and Cass stared in awe at their savior. "Who are you?" Macrillion asked, his voice filled with gratitude. The figure removed his helmet, revealing a stern but kind face. "My name is Lord Orston. I am a knight of the Order of Tetegomoro, sworn to protect the innocent and uphold justice." Cass scrambled to his feet, brushing the dirt from his clothes. "Well, thank the gods you showed up when you did." "I thought we were goners for sure." Lord Orston smiled faintly. "You should be more careful. These lands are dangerous, especially for travelers such as yourselves." Macrillion bowed his head in respect. "Thank you. We are in your debt." Lord Orston waved a hand dismissively. "I'm just doing my duty. But to return the favor, entertain me with your story." Macrillion explained their quest to reach Setafina and the temple that held the answers to his visions. Lord Orston listened intently, nodding in understanding. "The gods are indeed restless. I will accompany you to Setafina. It is not safe to travel alone." Cass's eyes widened in relief. "That would be fantastic. The more, the merrier, right, Macrillion?" Macrillion smiled, grateful for Lord Orston's offer. "We would be honored to have you with us." With Lord Orston as their protector, the journey became slightly less perilous. The knight's presence deterred any further threats, and his stories of conquests and lovers amused both young men. Cass, ever the chatterbox, peppered Lord Orston with questions about his adventures and the Order of Tetigomoro. His order of knights arose out of the eastern city of Tetigomoro. They were known for their valor in the Southern War 2 years prior when Hathan invaded the Kingdom of Cunia. By the end of that campaign, however, the battalions of Cunia managed to push the invading forces back across the border mountains and thus end the war. "So, Lord Orston, have you fought any dragons?" Cass asked eagerly as they sighted the city perimeter in the distance. Lord Orston chuckled, shaking his head. "No dragons, I'm afraid. However, I have faced many challenges in my time. The world is full of dangers, both seen and unseen." Cass nodded, clearly impressed. "Well, I'm just glad you're here to help us. I'd hate to think what would have happened if you hadn't shown up back there." After another hour of travel, the trio finally arrived in Setafina. The city was a bustling hub of activity, with merchants peddling their wares and citizens going about their daily lives before the inevitable dusk. At the heart of the city stood the Grand Temple, its spires reaching towards the heavens. Upon entering, Lord Orston dismounted and turned to the two priests, a look of resolve mixed with regret on his face. "My friends," he began, his voice tinged with a hint of sadness, "this is where we part ways. My duties call me elsewhere. I must attend to matters at the military headquarters. As much as I would like to see this journey through to the end with you." Macrillion clasped Orston's forearm in a gesture of camaraderie. "Your guidance and protection have been invaluable. We owe you a debt." Orston shook his head, smiling warmly. "No debt is owed, only gratitude for the honor of traveling with you. May the spirits guide your steps and grant you success in your quest." Cass, ever the social butterfly, gave Orston a hearty slap on the back. "Take care, Orston. Don't let those generals give you too much trouble. We will drink to your health when we meet again." Lord Orston laughed, mounting his horse. "I'll hold you to that. Farewell, friends." With a final wave, he urged his horse forward and disappeared into the evening crowd. As the two continued into the city, Cass suddenly stopped, an awkward expression on his face. "You know, Macrillion, I just remembered my old friend Joran lives here. Haven't seen him in ages, and it's been quite the journey. I think I'll pay him a visit and catch up on old times." Macrillion looked at Cass, suspicion creeping into his eyes. "You're sure it's just a friendly visit, Cass? We have important matters to attend to." Cass raised his hands defensively. Of course. I'll be back before you depart, ready to help with whatever's next. Besides, you're going to the temple, right? I'm not much for solemn prayers and old prophecies. I'm better with, people." Macrillion smirked, shaking his head slightly. "Just don't get into too much trouble, Cass. We need you in one piece." Cass grinned, his usual carefree attitude shining through. "Me? Trouble? Never. I'll see you later, alligator." With a jaunty wave, Cass turned and headed off into the maze of streets, whistling a cheerful tune. Macrillion watched him go, a mix of concern and resignation in his gaze. I hope he doesn't get himself into any mischief. I can't afford any delays. With Lord Orston gone and Cass Baloo off to find his friend, Macrillion continued through the city alone. The grand temple of Cetafina stood before him, its towering spires and intricate carvings a testament to the devotion of its builders. The air around the temple was thick with incense, and the sound of chanting filled the air, creating an atmosphere of solemn reverence. As he approached the temple, Macrillion felt a sense of foreboding mixed with hope. He hoped that within these sacred walls lay the answers to his troubling visions. At the courtyard entrance, he was greeted by a robed priest. "Welcome to the Temple of Cetafina. How may we assist you on this sacred evening?" Macrillion bowed respectfully. "I have been plagued by visions of doom and unrest. The Lady of the Dune directed me here, believing that your temple holds the answers I seek." The priest nodded, his expression grave. "Please, follow me." Macrillion was led through the entrance and into the great hall of the temple, passing by magnificent statues of the gods and intricate mosaics depicting scenes of divine intervention. The ambiance was serene, yet there was an undercurrent of anticipation, as if the very walls knew of the importance of Macrillion's quest. The novice priest was brought to a chamber, where the air was thick with the scent of incense and the flickering light of candles cast long shadows. The elder, an ancient figure with eyes that seemed to see beyond the mortal realm, sat in the center of the room, his presence commanding and ethereal. Macrillion took a deep breath, his voice steady. "I seek an audience with the elders. I have been plagued by visions, and I was told that the answers lie here." After Macrillion briefly explained his quest, the elder offered Macrillion a cot for the night, affirming that he would be given an audience with the elders the following afternoon. 3 brothers, 3 journeys, 1 destiny. If this story is pulling you in, then mark your place in the prophecy, like this video, and let the saga grow. To follow every twist of fate, every battle, every revelation, subscribe to the channel. A new chapter arrives weekly, and each one reveals more of the hidden connections behind this world of the Trionian Saga. Now tell me, what do you think the prophecy really means? Drop your theory in the comments. Some of you are already seeing patterns others miss. Move on to Chapter 4.